Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And before you knew it, it was like whooshka right across the snorkel and you copped it.
And there's only
so
many balls one can hold in their hands.
And that's right. I'm loving these intros, particularly to episode 25 of the Two Dads podcast. Welcome back, viewers and listeners. 25. Welcome to the Two Dads podcast. I'm Phil. Here's Sid. Uber, other.
Uber man, other man.
Welcome.
It's Friday, man.
It is Friday, man. It is Friday. Thank goodness it's the end of the week. It's 1st of April.
And what
April
a week it's
Fools,
been. It's April Fools.
April Fools.
It's podcast Friday. April Fools.
There you go. It's all happening. It's been happening
it's
for the last
couple of days.
in
this part of Australia, so
no,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, and welcome back to some slapstick comedy. Just ask Will Smith all about it. Good God, what's this world coming to? We'll get to maybe that a bit later. But as you know,
a bit later.
As you know,
it's the Two Dads podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for rejoining us on YouTube, and if you've joined us on Spotify, thank you. We most certainly have the voices for Spotify, but come over to YouTube.
And the faces for YouTube. You know, we try our hardest to articulate verbally all the visual jokes. Philip's even shaved for the occasion.
I've been shaving for a while. The beard's gone. It's gone.
Philip's had a bushfire.
Goodness, it's a bit like that. But how you doing, my man? You're up and about. You look like you're.
It's good. It's a good day. There's no jam on the floor, so we're all good.
Jam on the floor. It's always a good day when the
jam
is
the
donut
where it's supposed to be.
in the donut.
Nice. In the donut, and no one has attempted. Just freshly back from Costco, actually. I've enjoyed my Friday.
Yeah. What'd you get from Costco? Anything in bulk? Look what I got.
Hey!
Yeah, buddy.
I got the raspberry.
You got the wildberry? I got the raspberry lemonade.
If we go to the side, we can...
That cool, refreshing drink. This way?
Other way.
You go the other way? No, I'm this way. I'm that way.
You're going to go that way?
Technology's failed us again. Let me get this cracked. Let me crack this guy open. I've never tasted I've never had this.
You first got to wait for the jokes, man. You got to
go.
That's the tradition. Now I'll do it as well.
It's Friday. Because as you know,
it's kombucha day.
It's kombucha day. I saw them. I thought I got to try them. Cheers. Let me try some.
Cheers to all. Wild berry is not bad.
Wild berry. I don't think I saw wild berry there. I have to double check.
Wild berry.
I saw it was that
Shakira got the wild berry. It's even got I quit sugar.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Recommend. Is that what it's saying? There you go. Recommends.
I quit sugar.
Okay, well here we are, episode 25. That is confirmed because I just checked the numbers.
Sorry for the overly familiar intro we're supposed to introduce.
But we're going to jump into it. Two dads, 200. Yes, there's two of us, but the pun is that it's TOO because we're too much like dads.
Yep. And we're too much like dads.
And that's what it is. As dads, there's two things. Puns
and jokes.
And dad jokes. Because if it's punny...
If it ain't punny, it ain't funny.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one. That's what's going to go on the T-shirt.
That's going to be on the merch.
That's going to be on the merch. Just like
be in the merch, as well as the failing for technology and no problems.
So what do we got?
Technology has failed us yet again.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all part of the show. It's all part of the show.
As you know, I've been out and about, Phil. I'm always out and about.
When aren't you out and about?
There's always something interesting, mate. It's always something interesting.
I mean, even with fuel prices could be $4 and you'd still be out and about. Thanks for putting in a word with Josh Frydenberg as well and just telling him to cut that fuel excise.
Worked.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, we're always on the verge of having some sort of effect on government. Someone in government is listening
pulling
to
the strings,
podcast.
My man. Pulling those strings.
Even if it's only for 6 weeks,
take it. I'll take it.
It's fine by us. We'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take anything off this government.
What do you got for us? Prices, See, that doesn't work. It's failed us again.
Is that Chopper?
So
can't be Chopper. No. Look at the lamb chops on that guy. Look at those sideburns.
It's a guy at the front counter asking for 2 glasses of petrol, please.
2 glasses of petrol. Is this a meme? Is this what this is?
Yeah. That's why it doesn't work.
We got to figure this out. We got to figure out how we're going to get that working.
So,
I don't understand.
We'll start with the puns. The puns are the cornerstone of being dads.
Yep.
Okay.
Pun me.
So, if you are up near for Warrigal.
Oh, what's out in the Warrigals? Yeah, no, that's out east, southeast. Yeah, going towards.
What's that one?
It's out Traralgon. Well, it's before Traralgon, but it's out that way.
Well, it's hard to explain. So if you don't live in Melbourne, you won't know where that is.
It's out bush. It's basically out. And you go east. You go east. It's best.
And you're looking for some coffee.
Oh, okay.
You can go to Cup and Gino. You can get a cappuccino.
A cappuccino, yeah.
A cappuccino.
So clearly the owner's name's Gino.
Yeah. So you can get a cappuccino.
And Gino.
A cappuccino.
Cappuccino, see? That's good. See? Even out in the country. They're even funny out in the country, man. They're even funny out there. Good fun. There you go.
So we'll still stay at home for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got a bit of a story. I've got a bit of a story with this one. I have literally been in front of this shop at a minimum 3 times a week.
Really?
For the last 6 weeks.
Wow.
Because the princess works at the next for restaurant.
Oh, does she? Right.
At the one right next door.
Wow.
So we're always going up and back, minimum 3 times a week. I've sat in front, done U-turns, go past it.
At what point? Was it tonight? Was it tonight the night, or was it during the week?
It was the other day.
Yeah, where it just went
there, like in the week.
Was there an aura around you that lit up?
And I've just looked at it. I'm thinking, because I always kind of scoffed because it's vegan, Whole Foods.
Here we go.
You know?
Here we go.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And just so I can have an educated opinion.
Yep.
While we were waiting for the princess out the front, I decided, no, I'll go in and I'll buy some.
Oh, really?
Because
fair enough.
My Shakira has never had this kind of food.
Yep.
So I thought, yeah, I'll go buy some. So I got some sort of agua mineral, which in English is
mineral water.
A mineral water.
Mineral water, agua minerale.
And I bought 4.
Right.
I bought 4.
There you go. He's winding up the tech. Give him a chance.
Just winding up the tech. Where did it go?
Agua minerale.
4.
Go some of that.
Just for laughs. Literally 3 times a week.
And it hasn't.
For months. Never occurred.
It's been speaking to you all this time.
Yeah, it's been screaming at me.
Just for laughs.
Just for laughs.
Oh, well, got a laugh out of me, that's for sure.
Probably one of the greatest.
Look at that.
One of the greatest for local puns ever. Just so simple.
Just so simple, just for laughs.
And what do they sell in the shop?
Falafels, right? I have to.
So what else would you call the shop but just for laughs?
They're everywhere, people. Puns are everywhere. You just need to open your eyes
And no matter how open to the puns you are.
Oh, well, sometimes they can, like ninjas, they hide in plain sight.
So it can happen to any of us.
That's it. There you go.
So have a look at the Peugeot right in front, right?
Oh, here
I'm
we
not
go.
turning it into the Two Dads
Here we
car
are.
show,
It's
all right?
turned into a car
I just
show.
need to highlight
We're right
a
there.
point.
Is that? Hang on, no. That's not an aerial. The aerial is a little stubby one. The other thing is something else.
No.
I thought that was a big aerial.
Yeah. No.
Oh, what are you going to point out?
It's the Peugeot, right? It's the
Yep.
Peugeot.
Is it Peugeot or Peugeot?
Peugeot. Let's call the whole thing off.
Okay.
So this is the sticker. That's on the back of the Peugeot.
So what it's saying
Peugeot.
for those on Spotify, let me read this out and come over to YouTube and check this episode out for yourself. It goes, keep honking. I'm listening to River Yarra's 2019 meteoric sensation, Frogmania, at an unreasonably high volume and cannot hear a thing. Wow.
Now, what kind of human being actually made that sticker is my question to
I reckon,
you.
no, that's got to be custom made. That's not something, there wouldn't be Frogmania. Although
I'm just
happy
going back to the
corrected.
original photo.
So that's the sticker on the car.
Yep.
Where was that located on the car?
That is on Saint. See, it's right under. Well, you can't see it. So it's on the side for the driver of the taillight.
Ah, okay. There you go. Really? They put it on the actual... Oh, why would you stick it there?
Yeah, but it's a Peugeot.
Yeah, fair enough. Still.
You're saving no one.
Respect. The honking,
River
Yarra's 2019 meteoric. What's meteoric? Meteoric sensation.
All I can say is vegans, man.
No, come on. Don't be like that.
There's something.
I'm just writing
There's something about not having.
I'm writing down Frogmania.
Complex forms of protein.
Frogmania. I'm gonna YouTube that later. I want to see what that's all about.
I don't know. It can't be anything good.
It's got to be if there's a sticker about it. River Yarra's 2019. I want to understand what's so meteoric about it. That's it.
You don't have to write it down. I'll send it to you.
I'm actually recording this so I can watch back at the episode. Anyway, let's move on.
So, for the third and the final pun for episode 25 of the Two Dads podcast, we have gone overseas.
Whoa, international.
We've gone, we've got an international one.
Phillip Island overseas or to another country?
No, it's another country.
All right, okay. Tasmania?
Somewhere you've been.
Bali.
You've been to Singapore.
I have been to Singapore. Beautiful city.
I'm pretty sure you went to for the Maxwell Street for markets.
Did I get there? I think I've been there once before. Big markets. Yep.
Yeah, it's the main market.
I've been there. Beautiful city. So clean.
Yeah.
And fantastic.
Well, of course it's clean because you'll go to jail if you
can't have gum.
Spit out some chewing gum.
I don't think you can. it's frowned
illegal.
upon. Yeah, you can't have gum. But I'm saying it is spotless and everything is immaculate. Gardens, like on the freeway, it's amazing. Sentosa, beautiful.
Yep. So,
what have you got?
If you go to the market,
and
you hanker in for some bread.
Oh,
some baked goods, some bread.
Where do you go to?
You may go to
Bread Pit.
Bread Pit. It's not a joke. It's real. Cheers to this man.
Oh, mate, absolutely. A kombucha cheers to the Bread
Pit.
Bread Pit.
Bread Pit. It's a real shop.
That's great. That is great. Who would have thought of that? Who would have thought of naming a bread shop Bread
in Singapore?
Wow. Bread Pit. That's hats off. Hats off. Great pun. Good sense of humor over there in Singapore, clearly.
As as the other phrase that will appear on the merchandise. So not all of them are gold, but some of them are platinum.
That's right. Absolutely. This is a platinum one. 100%.
It's a platinum pun.
That is a platinum one. Bread.
I don't know why anyone here hasn't used it, because
that's what I'm saying.
It would seem it's a great.
It's a great name.
It's Brad Pitt.
That's it. Beautiful.
The other cornerstone of dads is the jokes.
The dad jokes. Dad, those jokes.
We handpick the jokes.
We do. You handpick them. I try and guess them. I try and pick them. What have you got?
I can't say that these ones are easy to guess, but they are real dad jokes.
I might surprise you. Go for it.
So
hit me.
Philip, why do some couples go to the gym together? Why do some couples go to the gym together?
Well, they go together. Yeah, it's a good question. Why do they, Sadiq?
Because they want the relationship to work out.
Oh, my God. Ah, Dad. I can hear it already. That is terrible. Which means it's a fantastic dad joke. Of course they do. Oh, yeah. All right. You have another crack. Just dig a little bit deeper in that barrel you got.
I'll save the rest for intermission. I'll save the rest for intermission. I like to spread out the jokes now.
That's true. That's true.
Or else I use up all my ammunition. And I don't want to be rushing.
No. Don't want to be rushing into.
Don't want to be rushing the jokes.
Don't want to be rushing the. I was trying to come up with something clever, and you bet me to it. That was good.
I want to be rushing the jokes.
That was a good one. My mouth was open.
Episode 25.
Episode 25.
Dad's podcast. Episode
What's it called?
So obviously Phil also got the memo as well. We'll wear the black t-shirts again.
That's it. We're in.
Episode 25 is called. This is gonna. I don't think we'll be able to actually fit the whole phrase in the name of the podcast. But
written War and Peace, have you? What is it?
I'm gonna go with Craig Foster versus Will Smith.
Oh.
What did the five fingers say to the face?
Slap. Wow. Craig.
It's Uber Dad versus the other dad.
Craig Foster
versus Will Smith.
Foster versus Will Smith. Yeah. What?
A fatherhood versus toxic masculinity is what we're going to talk about. Since there was no avoiding this subject at all, because
no way.
All the world's attention turned to two very overprivileged people having, some argy-bargy.
Well, sounds like one person got the argy-bargy, to be honest.
And not arty-farty. Argy-bargy.
No arty-farty. So fatherhood versus, what was that last one? Because I want to make sure I write this down. Versus?
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic. I like
masculinity. It. So we'll start with the high note first.
Got it. High note.
Now,
Craig Foster. Craig Foster.
I must admit, I have a little bit of a man crush
on Craig
Foster.
For that, I mean, everyone should know, but Craig Foster has done for Australian soccer, as in the round ball game, played for Australia, represented Australia many times. Well, the football, European or world football, the world game, the beautiful game,
real football,
it's known as. But he has he's done a lot, and he's given a lot to the Australian soccer team, and involved in the sport, and as part of
SBS.
Commentator, absolutely worked alongside the great Les Murray, who rest in peace.
Yes, Les Murray,
and hasn't been the same with him gone. But Craig Foster has certainly picked up with the rest of the commentary crew there, and he, if I can, don't want to steal your thunder, but he at National Press Club, he addressed. Yes. And I did watch that. I forgot to let you know that I didn't message you back. But as soon as I get those, whenever you say put it on National Press Club, I do it straight away because I know something's good.
One of the greatest and
brilliant.
most impassioned,
Wow.
impassioned
Tell you
speeches
what.
I have seen in recent years. That is for sure.
And I reckon people thought, Craig Foster, the soccer player, what's he got to tell you what? Didn't he talk about top bins?
If you give a dad a chance.
Hitting him in the top corner, right past the keeper. What he delivered in that that keynote, in that presentation, National Press Club. Oh man, I'm trying to find the right word to give it justice because he was spot on. It was a brilliant, and I'll find it and I'll link it to this episode. And
that's what I
encourage people to watch it and listen to it and listen to what he had to say and the way he articulated his message. I tell you what, it really started raising, even for me, some eyebrows and questions going, tell you what, he's onto something here. He's got a very good point.
Have you ever seen a more solid candidate for Prime Minister?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
In this country, in this age, at this time.
Well,
he would absolutely.
Well, yeah, he would
rocket in.
The way he delivered his keynote was fantastic. I mean, look, as a speaker, sure, there's a couple of words he stumbled, but he's human. I wasn't expecting perfection. It's the messaging that was more important. Yeah. What I found very interesting in his speech was when he was actually referencing a future prime minister, he made the reference of she, hoping that we get. And I tell you what, I'm with him on this one. I think that's what this country needs personally. But a great speech, and I think the key thing that he raised as well when it comes to our treatment of towards refugees. Big question mark how we could do much better. I mean, we've got a massive country.
And the fear factor has been ingrained into us since such a long time ago. We've never moved away from that. And it's used as a, if you pardon the pun, a political football.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It automatically has people on sides when you tell them that they're going to steal our jobs, all these murderers are going to come, all that. The same type of rhetoric that we see from the States for Donald Trump and all that kind of thing about all the Mexicans and everything else. It's that same kind of thing. Like we if we can spend $172 billion for submarines that we do not need.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Why can we not help people settle in our country, join in our community, work, interact?
Yep. Build a life for themselves.
Build a life.
No, I agree.
Australia is founded on immigration.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you put aside the indigenous,
who were the first people who came here?
As we know it, does not exist without immigration.
Exactly.
How can we turn our back on immigration?
I don't
Look
understand.
What has happened now. Why do you think fuel is going to $3 a litre? Why do you think no one has any staff? Why do you think inflation is going up 5%?
That's why. That's why.
Because,
it's crazy. I mean, I agree. One thing that I found interesting was that during his speech, he made it very clear just how much the government have, I'm going to put it, use a lot of rhetoric to just sort of brush it under, lift the mat, push it under the mat, just sort of hide it, and all this other stuff, and all these reasons as to why it's difficult and hard, this, that, and the other, which is just, it's a lot of, let's be honest, it's a lot of crap. These people, our fellow humans, they want to come here because they see that there's opportunity. And the reason why they're happy to come here and take our jobs is because they're not lazy. They want to build something, and they will take any job, and they will do it, and they will work hard because they know what the alternative is.
Yeah.
Right. And our problem in this country is that we've taken what we've got for granted.
That's right.
very
we
much
think
for
we're
granted.
owed a living.
We think we're owed by the government.
Yeah.
Government doesn't owe you anything.
They can't tell me what I'm supposed to do with the free money that they give me.
Yeah, and this is what makes me angry, because they go, oh, these people come out, these people, which I don't like, immigrants come from another country who,
Yep.
if you do a bit of a background check, where are they coming from? It's probably not a great place. And they see this as opportunity where it's safe for their families, hence why they want to come here. Right?
Hence the reference to refugees, because refuge, you are
seeking
refuge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And they come here, and you know what? Yes, the government does provide them assistance when they first come out here to find their feet. But after that, if you ever have the opportunity to meet and speak to those who've migrated here, they don't take their jobs for granted. They come in, they work hard.
We are both the results of migrant parents who worked.
My dad.
Who worked and worked and worked and worked and worked.
That's what they did.
Did everything they could.
Yeah, to build a life.
To come to this country, build a life, and for giving their kids the opportunities that they never had from where they came from.
Exactly. And that's what I don't understand. That's my point. We've got so much, space, but there's opportunity here. There's a lot of jobs, but at the moment, our unemployment rate is the lowest that it's been in a decade.
Since the 70s.
Even more. There you go.
It's the lowest
it's since
still.
The 70s. It's even dropped again.
So, and you know why? Because we stopped immigration.
Yeah, well, because there's so many
jobs.
there's
just not enough. Yeah.
So if there's if unemployment is low and there's so many jobs out there, why is there still unemployment?
Yeah. So what we have now is
laziness. People are lazy.
Yes, is for the economy that's like your home water tank. If you switch off the off run from the roof.
Yeah.
So the water's running out, but no water's coming in.
Exactly.
Is what's happening.
It's exactly what's happening.
The amount of water you have left becomes very low, and that's your unemployment rate because you got no water coming in.
I don't get it. And detention. Why there's still people that are still sitting in detention
for 9 years?
What threat do they pose? What threat, really? You've got some ship off the coast of South Australia where they've just hauled 416 kilos of cocaine.
Yeah.
Right. You got that. That's a threat. Find those dudes.
Phil, if we had our submarines, we would have sorted all that out.
Those submarines, not only is 127 billion to get them, it's the 5 billion it's probably going to cost us to cancel the other contract as well. So suddenly that's become a nice little $132 billion venture. For what? How many submarines are we getting?
I don't know. I think it's like
2 for 1 deal
or something.
There's a 30 submarines.
And imagine where they will be docked. Are you going to want to live near a nuclear submarine dock? I don't think so.
Jeez. Yeah, no, Craig Foster he raised his address was fantastic. And I guess for him it's a personal thing as well. Clearly having traveled the world and played football and I think trying to help. Like I know he mentioned some stories and was retelling some stories where he's
because now he's an advocate for human rights, and even he said himself when he first was asked by the UN to be an advocate for human rights, he thought that was just silly, because why does anyone need to be an advocate for human rights? It makes no sense.
That's right. It's like who opposes it?
Yeah, who's going to oppose human rights?
There are some, unfortunately, in this world.
Yeah,
a small percentage, but unfortunately, the yin and yang in life, there are people that do oppose it.
And he made a great statement that was not hyperbole; it's fact. So the company that runs the system for Manus Island, where they're housing all their offshore, this is the whole of a policy from the government, is to stop people to come to Australia as refugees, how we stop it is that we make it even worse
Yeah,
for them.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than helping them, we decide to make it even worse for them.
It's it's
and
inhumane.
house them offshore in a situation where the kids can't get educated. They're stuck in what is, for all intents and
A
purposes,
prison, isn't it?
a prison,
Yeah.
and for
prison.
years on end, while they wait for another country to resettle them. And where Australia has to be ashamed is that we've actually exported this policy on how to treat refugees. We've exported this to other countries. Like, we are the origin.
So we're the one to trademark this, basically.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
I think Australians should be ashamed that this is what we've.
How many?
Because we're the lucky country. We're the country of immigrants.
Well, that's right. I'm just curious, and I don't know how we can get these stats, but I'm just curious, how many hundreds, thousands of refugees are we talking about here? Could it
not
be
many? It's not in hundreds of thousands.
That's what I'm saying. Is it tens of thousands? Is it just in thousands? Like, is it 5,000?
I think it's
2,000.
I think at the most it would be in the tens.
If you add 10,000 people to our population, won't even notice the difference.
Even just the food would be great. It adds to we are so multicultural as it is.
I just don't understand why we can't house these people. Why we can't assimilate them into. Why can't they just?
And the family run for company that runs Manus Island is making over $100 million a year.
How are they making that?
To run the facility and everything that it takes to house these people.
So it costs this costs $100 million. Whereas it'd probably be cheaper to just let them come in.
Yeah.
Because they're clearly running away from something where they work.
House them, educate them. Yeah.
They'll pay their taxes.
Allow them to work.
They'll actually participate in an economy as well.
Welcomed by the communities that they go into.
And it's not costing us anything.
Yeah, if anything, we'll actually make money out of it rather than just spend it. It's absolute idiocy. It's absolute idiocy.
100 million. Imagine if that 100 million that we saved on Manus Island, where we could use that somewhere else, would have far more benefit. Domestic violence, for example.
One submarine.
I got the submarines. No, domestic violence, for example.
Every year, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 100 million injected into domestic violence across this nation.
Education programs.
It'd work out to more than
education for the police.
10 cents per kid that they worked out a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Grace Tame was telling us. I don't understand. Unless, I mean, sure, if there's people that have a criminal background or some sort of dark something or other, fair enough. But we're talking about mums and dads with kids who are fleeing war-torn and, oppression and all this sort of stuff because they want something better. I don't understand. I'll tell you what, you were to say, yep, come on down, we'll set you up in a government housing down in Pakenham, and your job is the local cleaner at the Pakenham shop. Yeah. I tell you what, that family would be set.
Aged care homes, all the volunteer settings.
That's a good job.
You could have these people working,
They get good benefits, they get superannuation, they get annual leave, sick leave, all sorts of stuff. Much better. Crazy.
It just goes to show you the power of a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Someone.
No, thank God for people like Craig Foster.
There's his lovely family.
Yep.
His for wife and the 3 kids.
Yep. No,
it just
he really drove his messaging home. He did.
Yep.
He did.
He nailed it.
And it is shameful, and I think that's the reason why a lot of us don't talk about it, because we know it's shameful.
Yeah.
Good old Dutton got a lot to answer for.
And it's been made something that's uncomfortable, and there's all this fear around it.
It's rubbish. These are just people that, like you and I, like our parents. Yeah. What did our parents do when they came out? They came out and they started working.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. This is your job. Thank you. I'll take it. I'm not complaining.
No one was there for handouts. If anyone's getting handouts, it's
good old Centrelink.
It's
good old exactly.
It's not people that have come from other countries.
Got a sore back and but lazy
who
people
move purposely to regional areas where there's no jobs, so they can always have an excuse to still be on Centrelink payments.
Yeah, because all they've done is they've managed to build their life to live off the government. That's what they do.
Yeah, because we don't give them any incentive to actually improve themselves.
Yeah.
And then my whole thing was to have the two polar opposites of dads. We've got the Uber dad.
This guy. Good on you, Craig.
The one that is representing responsible fatherhood.
Yeah. And then we
have our other mate.
Yeah, we can't see it. Yeah, I know. But everyone knows it.
Technology's failed us again.
It's failed us again. But I think everyone is fully aware of what happened at the Oscars during the week. I tell you what.
Will Smith, whom both Will Smith and for Chris Rock, we share a connection because Chris Rock is responsible for one of our favorite movies, Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang.
He made Pootie Tang.
He did make Pootie Tang. Great. And that's a cult movie. I don't think many people know about Pootie Tang.
Not many people know about Pootie Tang.
But it's a great movie.
Please, you must watch it. And we both, Phil and I, we believe that it's something like only guys will get because we both tried our wives to watch it and they just look at us like we're idiots. Yeah.
Nah. I think I got 2 minutes in, and the second he started not speaking English, I got what's this crap you're making me watch?
Sid made you do this, didn't he?
Yeah, you can watch that crap when Sid's around, but I'm not watching this. That's what I got.
And Will Smith, the Fresh Prince.
No, good old. I'll tell you what, the princes, Prince done tripped and can't get up. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I think a brain fart. No, I think it was a brain fart.
But look, anyway, we've got, while everything is happening in the world, all these other actual important things are happening in the world.
Guess what makes headlines?
Right. Yeah. One would argue that the Oscars does not have a place in society anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of like to make that point because my Shakira made a lovely statement. She said, what is really the point of the Oscars? Because the movie's already out.
Well, it's an award.
They're giving them an award.
It's an award for, I mean, look, it's like...
But the movie's already out.
Yeah, no, but that's like footy, right? At the end of the season, you give awards for how you played.
And the Brownlow.
Yeah, exactly. You play the Brownlow. That's what it is. That's the whole point, is meant to be celebrating...
That's for the next year. But they can...
Celebrating, the artistry of acting, right? That's the whole point of the Oscars. That's the whole point. I don't watch it. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch it.
I don't watch it either.
Wouldn't have a clue. Don't care. I don't think it
we both like movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We like, for example, we like the movies that our friend Mr. Smith does.
Yeah, he's done a whole heap of them. But
we grew up on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Grew up on Fresh Prince and Bad Boys 1 and 2 and even Wild Wild West.
Yeah. But my thing is that when you're famous, fame, idolatry, and everything that comes along has a price to your privacy.
Oh, absolutely. You cannot have privacy.
Yeah, you cannot be famous and earn private. Your...
Well,
yeah.
Some do it.
Famous and,
Some
but you've got to be out of the public sphere. But when you make your money being in the public sphere, you have to expect that sometimes things are not going to go your way.
True. I think the other thing, keep going. You make your point. I think
now, as much as I'm I've been incensed all week how there's this avalanche of everyone that has an opinion.
Everyone. Like literally. They're asking dude, they've been asking Snoop Dogg for his opinion.
I know. When I saw them asking Snoop Dogg, I'm like,
Snoop Dogg don't give a crap.
And Snoop was like, I wasn't even there. I was at a party somewhere else. I don't know.
Care. I don't know. Why asking me?
Like, look, I understand we both. I think I can speak for you as well. We both understand the emotion of when you feel someone has stepped over the line and insulted your wife.
Absolutely, 100%.
His wife has a medical issue where she is losing or has been caused to lose her hair, so she decided to shave it off.
It's
so the joke for Chris Rock, it's non-life threatening.
Non-life threatening.
It's an autoimmune thing, and it just makes her lose her hair.
Yeah, could wear a wig. She chooses.
Yeah, but their private life, their open marriage, the infidelities, and everything else has been
laid bare.
Laid bare.
It's out.
So for you to draw the line at
that was joke, the camel. That was the straw.
Yeah, I mean, she's even been unfaithful to him with her son's friends.
Wow.
Like a friend of their son.
Wasn't that the singer? He was some singer or something, or artist or something.
I don't know. Well, we're not here. Yeah, we're not here for judging, but
no.
If there's a scale as to,
and that's, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. It's not like Chris Rock gets whacked across the schnorkel for a very extremely mild joke. Mild. I mean, and look, Chris Rock isn't someone who's just doing comedy. He's been doing it for decades. So he understands the structure of jokes, and he knows what's derogatory and what's hurtful. It was very mild, ridiculously mild, right? No big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what got him. I think that's what got Chris Pretty Fraser going, what? I've done worse than this.
He should have just walked off, or just, they should have left.
I congratulate him for being the bigger man, number one. But it's something that, at first, when I saw it, I thought, is this a skit? And then when Will was heckling, and the way he heckled was like, this ain't no skit. And I thought, what is going on here? And after a day or two, I was thinking about it, going, you know what? I'm actually concerned for Will Smith. Is he okay? Like mentally, is he in some space at the moment where he's hurting? Because for that to be the trigger, he knows Chris, all right, for decades as well. Long time. They did Fresh Prince together, right? So that's a long time ago. So he's known Chris for at least, best part of maybe 30 years? Fair to say?
Yeah.
Is it 20s?
I'm sure they go in some similar circles.
Yeah. So for that joke to be the trigger, it's like, what is it that you are overcompensating
you must not be
for?
You must not be in a very good place. But I think he did the classic husband thing.
Yeah.
Right? Then I'll explain.
No, I know what it is. I know what it is.
When your wife, she gives you that look.
You think, shit, I got to do something. I got to do something now.
That's exactly what he
quick, did. Which is the worst thing, because men are incapable of making a logical decision. That is a snap decision.
When they get that look, they will do anything.
That's right.
The most ridiculous thing.
Not thinking it through.
Somehow
make it right.
Mitigate that circumstance.
That's it. And look, and that's the other thing.
Because at first he laughed.
He did.
He laughed at first. And then obviously his wife was sitting right opposite him.
Yeah.
And the look on her face.
She did the eye roll.
Yeah. And then she was like.
She did the eye roll.
Upset.
And I was like, all right, hang on.
And then it's that look that every man gets when you know that your next move has to be exactly right and what's expected.
Wow.
or else.
But there were so many ways he could have dealt with that.
You'll never let it go.
But there were so many ways he could have dealt with that far better. As still standing up for Jada, and probably
he could have just heckled him.
Look, if it was determined to walk up to him, he could have walked up to him and covered his microphone and actually told him in his ear, Jada's got alopecia. That joke is pretty insensitive. I really like for you to apologise to my wife publicly now, please. And turn around and walk away. Chris would have done it.
That's right.
Chris would have done it. He would have felt bad. He would have apologised. And in having done it that way, Will would have still stood up for his wife. He would have done it as a far better man. And it would have been dealt with then and there. And then it wouldn't have gone on to be the saga that it is now. Because I'll tell you what, for Will Smith to recover from this could cost him his career.
I don't think so.
I think it could cost him his career.
I think this is one of those things about being.
I think it's just a matter of time. People forget about it.
It'll be a famous thing in Hollywood. You are famous, and everyone will excuse it. I think more to the point now that if you're in the circuit for comedy, Will Smith has just okayed for you to get violent if you don't like the jokes.
Yeah. Comedians have got a target now.
Yeah.
As it is,
probably
they've had the cancel culture cancel them. Yeah. And now it's, well, if you do offend me, I'm just going to walk up and smack you across the schnorkel.
Yeah, I think that's probably I don't think Will Smith is going to ever have, like, he's done all his thin-veiled apologies. He eventually did make an apology.
Yeah.
Online.
How do you make his apology? Online, on Instagram.
In social media.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He should be looking for the first news outlet, getting in front of a camera and doing it publicly on national television is what he should be doing.
Really, for Chris Rock, it's going to work out well for him because he's the victim. So,
but he's not acting like the victim. Like, he has been very quiet about it.
Sympathy. Yeah.
No, but he hasn't been one to post. He's posted nothing on any social media pages, nothing about it. He's been asked a few times, and he has just sort of not brushed it away, but said, look, I'm still processing it. There was an article that I read earlier today that at his Boston show, there were hecklers saying, F Will Smith. And he was very quick to shut them down and say no and condemn saying that. So I think Chris has dealt with it. I think he's still dealing with it. I actually think he's still in shock. I can't believe that someone who, he thinks, my friend, who understands that my job as a comedian is to roast people.
Yeah. And it is the function of
comedy
that section of the Oscars. Like, it happens every single one. They deliberately get a comedian on to roast people.
Exactly. It's just like if you go to a comedy show and you sit in the front row and you get roasted.
You got a shaved head.
What? You cannot.
I have been in that position.
But you can't be upset.
Yeah. Yeah. Many years ago, I did go to a comedy show. Many years ago.
You can't be upset.
And
I don't understand it.
We all had a look. We all had your look. Because I used to shave my head.
You used to shave your head? Yes, long time ago.
So when you go to a comedy show and you sit in the front row,
mate, you're like a beacon. You're a beacon for the comedian. You're asking for it. Yeah. But how can you get upset? If anything, I think I'm more in awe at the fact that they can come up with stuff on the fly. I mean, on the fly. That's part of the art of being a good comedian, is being able to come with the joke on the spot. So to go and it's just nuts.
But I think you're exactly right, though. I think it's more what the point should be is that why did he become so unhinged? I think you got to be.
There's nothing chivalrous about
concerned, for his real state of mind. But
absolutely, because it's
as I said,
unlike Will Smith.
Every husband understands that look.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know that.
You got to act. So I think his act was way too extreme.
But walk up and
surely they're over issue of their privacy, considering
she's the one that laid it all bare on national television.
Yeah, all the open marriage issue and everything else. They share every aspect of their life. You can't now get upset.
You get a very mild
of a comment that
it's
he wouldn't have known that
joke.
Anyway. Yeah, he wouldn't have known that anyway. How's he supposed to know that she's actually sick?
Yeah, he wouldn't know that. That's what I'm saying. If anything, it was those jokes were low hanging fruit. Which for a comedian, that's the easy stuff.
Yeah. And the cancel culture has ruined, the actual role of the comedian.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Because no one is allowed to get offended.
Don't go. If you know their material and they're going to be like, don't go watch them. No one's forcing you to go watch these comedians.
And you're making your millions anyway, so just...
tell you.
Just have a Coke and a smile.
Sorry. I am, yeah, that's right. But Chris Rock was just... and, kudos to him for remaining professional. I think he caught himself reminding, hang on, I'm in the Oscars here. I got to just try and brush it off and try and just get through this segment and do it. So you remain the commensurate professional, and didn't lay charges, didn't do any of that stuff. Was the bigger man. So like I said, after a couple of days of thinking about it, my biggest question is, someone's got to check in with Will Smith, because something's, for someone who, like, I've got a bucket list of people who, if I had the opportunity to sit down and spend 10 minutes talking to him, Will Smith was one of those people, because some of the stuff he says is, it's very enlightening, and he talks about, positivity and all that stuff that he talks and he puts on his social media. And then for this to happen,
all that is so completely out the window.
Oh yeah.
All your
credibility
as a man, a husband, a father, any kind of, you've thrown it all away.
Well, I mean, it's a difference
on something that you could have handled it a far more intelligent way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what
it wasn't that kind of situation where you had no choice. Like, there wasn't you weren't in a corner.
No.
You didn't have to fight back.
No.
You could have done something a bit more intelligent.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the other thing that made me insane, apart from the endless, I mean, obviously now we're a part of that too. We're also weighing in our opinion, but it's a different angle, I feel, anyway. The other thing is that all of America lost their mind.
Yeah, well, that's not hard.
About how they won't tolerate any violence. This is the country where people are getting shot for nothing on a regular basis.
You can carry a gun.
Yeah, in the street.
We condemn violence.
You can walk around armed.
You can't hit people across the face.
But we won't tolerate someone being slapped. One man slapping another man in the face. It's fine for people to get shot every day on the streets.
That .45 caliber that you can carry, go for it. That's fine.
We won't stop people from being allowed to have as many of the guns as they want.
That's right.
That's their right in the Constitution.
We'll even sell them at Costco.
We will not. We will not. We will not stand another man slapping another man.
Please don't get me started on how America works, man, because you think our refugee situation's effed up. There's a whole other ball game over there when it comes to that. It's just ridiculous.
At least we didn't try to make a wall.
No. Goodness me.
Now, there's my whole angle with this whole thing anyway, from Craig Foster to Will Smith, is the polarizing fatherhood.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
We've got one really high standard, someone that should be given the recognition of actually being an outstanding father, outstanding husband, outstanding sportsman.
An Australian, advocate.
Australian advocate. You can keep going. It's like I said, I admire the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree.
And then we go to Shane Warne.
Warnie. Warnie. Come on.
I have to take a deep breath.
Why? What's wrong with Warnie?
Come on, man. How many memorials can one man have?
Well, you had
55,000 people at the MCG.
Hey, he did
I
it.
know
It was a
I
big
may
deal.
be
Big deal to Australian sport
disliked,
and Australian cricket.
Australia has a problem. Look at Phil's face.
Have we finally? I think we might be making Steve happy on this one because you and I might not see eye to eye on this. Tune in, Steve. Get your popcorn.
All right. Australia has a huge problem with idolatry of sports people.
Mm-hmm, we do. Absolutely. We love them.
Just because you are very good at sport,
mm-hmm.
that does not mean that you're an admirable human being.
It doesn't mean you're an asshole either, but yeah, I get you.
You can't sports wash everything. Right?
I see what you're saying.
I'm just using an example. Shane Warne.
Yes.
Shane Warne.
Shane K. Warne.
Was not a good human being.
What do you mean he wasn't good? Come on.
Like he wasn't.
Why wasn't he good? Because he had a failed marriage, because
infidelity.
No, well,
all the other issues that he had along the way. Like you can't all of a sudden sports wash everything.
I know what you're trying to say. I know
it's a wonderful example.
I know what you're trying to say. You can't use the guise of heroics on the sports field to negate what transgressions may have conspired during your life. But no one is perfect.
They're all
either.
Human beings. No, they're all human beings. They all have human failings. But when you basically sanctifying the man as he's some sort of a superhuman and is such an example for people, this is completely untrue.
Well, I think what you got to keep in mind is sports people, particularly in many countries, but in Australia, sports people are celebrities because you invite them into your home on your TV screen. You see them as someone who is not superhuman, but they're elite at what they do. And when it comes to something elite, well, then you're in that top percentage compared to the rest of the population.
Yeah.
Now, albeit that Shane, fine, he was, his infidelity, and if that's okay, I don't know the story. And he's engaged to Elizabeth Hurley and all this stuff. But I mean, infidelity isn't great. I'm not saying that I'm advocating that. But let's look at the things that he did do, that had a really good impact. He encouraged kids to get into sport. He was a role model on the sports field.
Sport.
For kids. I know what you're saying, sport.
Yeah, every third word is sport.
I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know where you're going with this. I understand. But outside of sport, he was also very loyal to to friends, to people who were important to him. I mean, he flew some. I was hearing a story about one of his mates was getting married, and he literally got on the plane and just went, like, dropped what he was doing to go to his mate's wedding because he was a good mate of his, and he surprised his mate over in the UK or something like that, to that effect.
Australia doesn't have 3-stage funerals for heart surgeons. Victor Chang.
Because heart surgeons unfortunately aren't celebrities.
Well, this is my problem.
This is the thing, because they don't have
society in Australia.
Well, it's because they don't have that that media. I don't know if you want to call it media coverage, but they don't have that popularity, and people know who they are. Because
Fred Hollows.
Fred Hollows, who has done a lot of good work with people in
blind people.
Yes, I understand.
Third world countries. The guy didn't get.
If you pumped it up,
55,000 people at the MCG wearing his clothes that he would not want to work.
I know where you're getting at, but had they have had the same treatment or had the same exposure as a sports person who you see week to week, on the footy field or on the soccer field, like Craig Foster, for example, right? Opens a lot of other doors, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
it just does.
Is not for lauded as a great soccer player. It's almost like it's
the
end of the sentence. When they talk about Craig Foster, it's former Socceroo, then everything else.
But Shane was the same. Shane was exactly the same. Former Australian cricket test, blah, blah, blah. Former 700 wicket, former. Unfortunately, then...
Phil, you know how I feel about grown men crying.
Yes. Depends what it's about.
You see Merv Hughes standing in the St Kilda Football Club with his shirt hanging out of his pants.
Well, you don't know what they've shared. I mean, I think one thing that you may have not had been exposed to is what it's like in the sports arena to be part of a team either. And when it comes to sport, it's what we get to see on the sport field is, the one match of cricket or the 2 hours of football.
Yep.
And we get to see the greatness and the spectacular feats of whatever they do.
You know why that is? Because
you know what you don't see?
It's all the showering in front of other men.
What you don't see with sports people is the work they put in. Now, there's a saying in sports. There's a saying is, champions are made in the absence of people. That's a saying. Champions are made in the absence of people. It's the hard work you're doing behind closed. Not when there's people there watching you. It's the hard. Kobe Bryant would be, you see him on the basketball court, the dude would rip it up. You know how much work he put in outside of those games, outside of normal training. And that's
the remuneration.
You know what I'm saying? But this is the same
because
thing.
Of that.
Yeah, and this is the same thing. I know what you're saying, that, you got Merv Hughes crying. But these guys, when you're part of a team, and particularly as a professional sports person or athlete, the amount of time that you're spending with the team versus your normal life during those years of where you're playing sport and you're getting paid to do it, there's no balance.
I'm not moving anything away from that. All I'm saying is that it does not make you, it does not allow you for being lauded as some kind of a saint, as some kind of
I don't think they're lauding the saint.
Exemplary human being.
What you find is that people are sending him off because of his contribution to sport, which is very important to this country. It is extremely important. Sport in this country. Point. Yeah, I know that's your point, but sport in this country
is viewed well above academic.
You know why? It has history. It has history. Sport was what got people through world wars.
It's the common man.
Yeah, right. When World War One was raging over in Europe, it was now we know it as the AFL. It was sport here that was still bringing a sense of normality to communities here in Australia, and that's where the birth of sport being so important to our way of life.
And you remember when a lot of the football players, for example, the Australian rules players, used to work for the councils, emptying the bins, and then play sport and have
they never get paid.
4 meat pies players. And some cigarettes.
Yeah,
right before the game. This was all. It's about the common man. I understand that, but the culture in Australia is very much centered around
100%. I'm not going to disagree. It is.
Yeah,
it is. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that goes back decades, back to World War One.
Yeah,
that's where it's come from, and it's grown. And will continue to grow. You're right. We put sports people on higher pedestals than your heart surgeons, people that are doing research, cancer research, people that are trying to make a difference, like Grace Tame, for example, who are trying to bring more...
Sports washing.
I know what you're saying. You see that just because they play sport, they're like untouchable.
Culturally, sports washing. Philip, ever since our school principal, Tistoli,
yes,
was the first school to take the entire school, the entire high school, to the SIS, the sports carnival for all the schools in our area.
Schools.
Yeah, he was the first.
Yeah,
to take the entire school.
Yeah,
to watch.
Yeah, I remember we went to Olympic Park.
Yeah. We went to Olympic Park. We were the only school with the entire school.
I remember the chants we made up.
Went.
We are blue, we are white, we are effing dynamite, da na 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 na. We are white. You are red.
And you will remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Around Waverley Park, we used to do for the
cross country. The cross country, the good old
again, the entire school.
Everything. Yep.
And I don't think you were one of them, but some of us decided to just walk.
No, I ran. But there was a whole group of people that just walked until the very end and then sprinted the last 50 meters. You all got in trouble for that.
And our school principal decided, he was so upset that he called an assembly the next day with the entire school and proceeded to explain his anger and made us all go again and redo it.
That's right.
The entire school.
Because you didn't do it in the right spirit of what it was intended to do. It was a communal thing. You, of all people, should have channeled Desmond Tutu because we're trying to do it.
What would you together? It's just an example, as we've had it in our own lives where sport our school, everything was about sport.
Community, but
he never took the entire school for some sort of academic event.
No, we didn't all go to Canberra.
That's right.
We didn't all go to Canberra to Parliament House. We wouldn't have all fit into that viewing room. That's why. Would have been easier to sneak the camera in with Fab though. I would have had more cover.
We're all nearly arrested.
That's for another podcast.
Year 11.
That's for another podcast. I know what you're saying. Of all people to be bringing this up is you, who waves the banner of anti-sport. Let's just be honest now, all right? Like, what's sport?
No, I'm not anti-sport.
The only sport you probably have ever watched is what? Rugby, Super Sevens, rugby. You still wear rugby tops.
League. Union.
You watch Union, yeah. Like basically British Bulldogs with a ball, right? You just keep
because
that ball
Union
rolling.
Is where men really show each other who's the man. Union is the urban arms race version
of NRL.
It's if you're still alive at the end, it was a good game, mate. It's a good game.
Bravo.
As long as you're not doing a hopawate. It's fine.
Anyway, we've really digressed.
I didn't want to really be about. It's not about being anti-sport, even though that's the way I've made it sound.
I know what you're saying.
Just because you're good at sport doesn't mean you're an exemplary human being.
Yes, it doesn't excuse.
This is we completely sports wash everything.
I think society sports wash it because what they've seen more of in Shane Warne's case is what he achieved on the cricket field, right? As a bowler, and unreservedly, he's the greatest spin bowler this country's seen. Okay,
I was at the barber the other day.
Right, the greatest spin bowler. And that's how
the guy was going on about it like he's split the atom, like there's some kind of.
But he did
some kind of ethereal magic. I'm just sitting there waiting for my turn. I'm going.
But it's a skill. He had a full skill.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
Have you actually watched footage to see exactly what Shane Warne, may he rest in peace, that
Philip,
he was able
I could not explain to you how much I don't care.
That's the problem.
I've played
That's
cricket.
The problem.
I've played
as cricket. A man who studied physics in Year 12.
Yeah.
Right. For a spherical object to be able to turn at those particular angles. Right.
What from spit and some.
And that's the thing.
The way he was some grass, some dirt.
But the way he was able to deliver the ball, and the way he was able to do it, and that made the ball turn. Like this thing would bounce and then turn that way. A sphere. It's not something.
If he could make that sphere steer a car, I'd be impressed.
Well, I know.
It'd be like it's the same like asking Stevie Wonder to hold the wheel. Then I'll be impressed. But the way this guy in the other barber, thankfully he wasn't the barber that I was there to see, but the other the other barber.
But that's why.
Man,
that's
he was speaking about it like it was.
But it was because
religion.
Well, I guess the thing is that what made him unique is it hasn't been replicated. That's the thing.
There's a reason for that.
Well, because there's only one Shane Warne, I guess. So we haven't seen someone who's able to replicate that in sport because it's a highly skillful thing to do. And look, when you're in that realm of sport and you see sports people or sports professional athlete who's able to perform at the next level compared to others who are considered professional in that field, and you think, wow,
if you can smoke while you're doing it, Phil, it's not.
No, but that's not the point. It's not the point. It's been able to do something at the next.
You can smoke while you're doing it.
At the next level, and we've digressed from being the fatherhood versus the toxic masculinity. We've really digressed because he brought Shane Warne.
Well, it is all in that melting pot. Because
but people recognise him as Shane Warne, the cricketer. Yes, they knew bits and pieces. Well, they only know bits and pieces about his personal life, right? Yeah. That's the thing. There wasn't as if it was not like maths where they've had the Shane Warne show and everyone knew the insides and outside of his life and what happened. I mean, you don't know the personal, but they assimilate to him as the sportsman because that's what they saw the most of, what he was able to do as a sports person. All right. So all that other stuff that you're saying has been sports washed. Well, that's just more to do with ignorance of not knowing all that stuff because they weren't exposed to it.
It's not ignorance. They know. They just don't care.
Oh, well.
We used to have a state manager who was a former for North Melbourne.
Oh, here we go. We're going to talk about Wayne Carey now, are we?
No, it's not Wayne. Cool. If we start Wayne Carey, it exemplifies my point.
No, that's true. But he's made a comeback.
Anyway, he wasn't Wayne Carey, but he was another very famous North Melbourne football player.
Yep.
I was very good friends with him. I had no idea about his sporting prowess beyond the fact that...
What was his name?
David Dench.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, but he was a hero.
Yeah. David
people
Dench
from North Melbourne.
80s, I think it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was in the 80s.
I didn't care. But he was a nice guy. He was my friend as well as my state manager. So I was like, but I was in a meeting where I watched a grown man, a manager for our client, fall over 3 chairs. 3 chairs.
Yes.
Just to get to the other side of the table to shake his hand.
Yeah.
I've never forgotten that. And the look on my face at this manager who I had known for years, as he fell over 3 chairs and kept picking himself up, kept falling over the chairs, just trying to get to the other side of the room to shake this man's hand.
I would do the same thing.
What is wrong with you?
I would do the same thing because you appreciate.
He's just a normal guy.
He's a normal guy. He is a normal guy like you and I, but he's able to elevate himself physically, right, to perform something which not everybody else can. And I'll tell you now, if there was some of the sports...
Would you use Wayne Carey's name after that?
Well, I would. Wayne Carey... Wayne Carey, off the field, I understand what he, as a human, what he did wrong. I don't condone it. But on the field, what he was able to do as a footballer. And the thing is, if you haven't played the game, Gary Ablett, junior or senior, both of them are just immortalized as one of the greatest Geelong. Well, Ablett Junior played for the Suns.
The drugs, the molesting.
No, it's not great off the field. I understand that.
This is what I'm saying to you. This is the problem with the culture. We treat them like they are superhumans. Everywhere they go, you're a hero.
Oh, they're not, but they don't get special treatment. They get accoladed. No, they don't get special treatment. They get accoladed. They get accoladed for being able to perform something which people like me, who appreciate the sport and appreciate what they were able to achieve, not just off talent alone. That's the thing. We accolade them because they may have talent, but they've put a lot of work and just how much they dedicated themselves to the sport to get the best out of themselves. That's why people put them on a pedestal. And you don't appreciate or understand that because you've never been involved in a sport where it takes the grit, the sweat, the failures, the injuries, all the hurdles you get to get over in order to be able to perform at a certain level and achieve something physically.
But Philip,
that's why you don't understand
my point
it.
is that why can't I also be a good person off the field?
Oh, and there's plenty
if
of
I'm
people
a great
like
person on the
but
field,
there's millions.
But they don't get the
like
recognition. They don't get the recognition.
Of course they do. Yeah, Peter Dacos, for example, from Collingwood, who you don't know. I don't know if you know who Peter Dacos is.
I know who he is.
Peter Dacos.
I don't want to admit that I know who he is, but I know who he is.
You know who he is, but Peter Dacos, what I would see is someone who is the penultimate father. I mean, he has 2 sons who are now professional footballers at the same club where he played at. In fact, his youngest son, Nick, is wearing exactly the same number 35. No one's worn number 35 since Peter Dacos. They retired the number when he finished playing. So he exemplifies both an outstanding sportsman on the field, but an even more outstanding human being off the field. Father, husband, brother, friend. And I could name another 80, so many more people, so many more footballers who are in that same sort of, not just footballers, of the round game. Cristiano Ronaldo, 100%.
So now we've ended up in the same situation like when I started talking about cars.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but I guess my point is,
so please don't switch off. This is not the Two Dad Sports Show.
I'm just trying to raise the point that unfortunately, in the realm of sport, you're going to have fantastic sports, fantastic sportsmen, women, people who are exceptional at what they do as sport, but arseholes off the pitch. I'm not denying that. But you also have the converse where you have great sports person, athlete, and then even better or just normal off the pitch as well. Just
look. My main point is that it's not just for sport.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if you are quintessentially a good person and a role model, this status should only be afforded to those that manage it holistically.
Well, look, when the day comes, you and I aren't going to get 55,000 at the MCG. But if we become household names, that's the difference.
Yep.
That is the difference.
It's like what I say.
Celebrity status.
When they talk about, I'm going for a run, I'm like, you see me running, someone's trying to murder me, or there's a fire.
That's right. But that's the only reason why. And you're right. And I'm not. I guess just to be clear, I understand the point that you're making.
Yep.
But people assimilate just the sports person. They do, because that's what they're used to seeing, and the rest is not as in their face as the sports achievements are.
But this is the bow I'm trying to draw for toxic. Toxic for masculinity, because
I know what you're
especially
saying.
In the sporting sphere,
mm-hmm.
the mistreatment of for women,
mm-hmm.
The sort of abuse of alcohol, the
drugs,
all the abuses of
of drugs, we've got some
footballers
who have been in that in those 3 key areas that you just point out. Football's been mixed up in all those 3 key areas. Let's be honest.
And I've always had the issue that they simply because of the prowess on the sporting field, no matter what the type of sport it is,
mm-hmm.
they get a free pass. They don't.
I'm not going to get a free pass. I don't agree. I don't agree that they get a free pass. Yeah. They may get some brownie points because they're remembered as being, a great footballer or fantastic at this and that. But they also do hit rock bottom as well. Ben Cousins, for example.
Yeah, because when it's all over, they've got nothing.
Ben Cousins.
There's no structure in the background. They're basically they're
smart.
athletes, and they're
Some of them are smart
only the
enough to
smart
do it.
ones.
Yeah.
But
And the clubs are better at that now.
That they get, and the treatment that they get from everyone else around them, all the open doors that you get, it works the complete opposite once it all turns over 360.
Look at David Beckham. David Beckham, he is a great footballer, he's a smart businessman, and he's a great father and husband. Simple as that. I mean, it's going to be different from person to person.
And a voice like a
oh, he's a little bit like that, isn't he? But he's one of the lads, eh? He's one of the lads.
But ironically,
yes,
his situation turned more in his favor through his wife,
Victoria. Yeah,
because when he stopped all the football, and she's the one that moved things on for him. So,
but I'm just saying, it depends on the person. It depends on the person, right? It depends on who the person is. So that's one thing you got to keep in mind. People think Shane Warne. They don't think about Shane Warne, the everyday bloke. They just think of Shane Warne, the cricketer,
the man. Yeah,
that's what they think about.
Shane Warne.
It's just the sport,
and the sport.
That's all it is. And not unfortunately, but that's because that's what's been in their face for so long.
Yeah, I find it hard to.
And football's the same, soccer's the same. In the CrossFit realm that I'm, that I enjoy watching. We've got one of the athletes who's since retired. He won the CrossFit Games, like the penultimate competition, 5 years in a row running. He'll always be remembered as that guy who won it 5 times. Now and 30 years from now.
Yep.
And people would still fall over 3 chairs to try and get to him and shake his hand. I would be one of them. Luckily, he's a really nice guy out of competition and just in everyday life, right?
Yeah.
So, but if he had a transgression, I guess your argument that you're raising is
with 4 family meals at Macca's, and you're thinking
he
must be carb loading.
Your argument would be, because of his sportsman, he sort of, it washes him of any other, indiscretions that he may. You're entitled to your opinion.
I feel.
I think you're washing it.
You achieve hero status, it should be holistically.
Oh, look, everyone expects that. Absolutely, well. Look at this. Will Smith was, he was seen as a holistic hero. He's marred that. With what he's done,
and he has to deal
with
the consequences.
Yeah,
he has to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, and that, like anyone, and like everyone that makes a poor choice or makes a snap decision or doesn't think something through or doesn't stop themselves before they do something or anything like that, you have to. All decisions have consequences. That night he had he's suffering now the consequence of his actions. The alternative was not do anything and suffer the consequence of conversation on the way home with Jada.
His wife's look.
Exactly. But
there was ice cold.
Either way, there's a consequence there, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And it's
have some updates.
It's a shame. It's a shame that Will's gone to that because people are going to look at him in a different light. Some people, not everyone, but people will look at him in a different light now. Now anything he says.
Yeah, but I think a lot of men, especially men, would understand where he's coming from.
I think I understand where he's coming from, but disappointed that he acted the way he did because it wasn't necessary. That's right. What he dished out wasn't, didn't measure up to what Chris deserved to cop for what Chris did. It didn't suit the crime. The punishment didn't match the crime.
Yeah.
If a crime was actually committed, which I don't believe it was. The bloke was there doing his job. And he did it tastefully.
Speaking of doing their job,
yeah,
I have some updates. I want to highlight a very unknown conspiracy.
Oh, come on! You're not becoming one of those.
I know. We've always said that we don't.
Put your tinfoil hat on
for conspiracies.
Off you go. What have you got for me?
Right before the intermission for the joke, I want someone to explain to me
Camry tissue can. What is this? That's what I reckon. Explain.
That's what I reckon.
That's what I reckon.
Which, Philip, I will send you the link at some point. But
What is this?
anyone else can search. I believe it's on Facebook.
What is it?
I will give thanks for Natalie, no pun intended, for That's what I reckon.
Thanks, Nats.
So
what have we got here?
This
Camry
guy,
tissue what's it called?
Yeah, Camry tissue conspiracy.
Camry tissue.
Why are there so many for Camrys that have a tissue box in the back window?
Oh.
Now,
that's actually,
you think that's
now that you've raised
joke,
this,
right?
Now that you've raised this.
Yeah.
No.
Here's one I found earlier.
Let down. You got to point down. Is it there?
Look, you will just have to take my word for it.
Yeah, right. No worries. That's
in the back window, there
is
a tissue box. So my question is,
yes,
why? And so many Camrys
mm-hmm.
with the tissue box in the back window. Is that the most inconvenient place? You may as well leave it in the boot.
You can't reach it from the front.
And then if you happen to stop in an emergency, the tissue box is going to come flying and hit someone in the head.
That's a good point.
But I just want everyone who listens who listens on Spotify and who watches us on YouTube to please be alert,
cognizant,
but not be alarmed.
No, look for it.
Once you look for it, it's going to drive you crazy.
It's going to be there
because
I was in front of behind a Camry this morning on the way back from CrossFit, and I'm trying to remember if I noticed the tissue box or not now.
A tissue box.
I certainly noticed I was driving slower than necessary. I remember that much. I remember that, and I remember saying, "Man, I'm glad Sid's not here." I remember saying that out loud.
There was one at Costco when how she was trying to move out of the car park it just made no sense. She reversed, went up and back. Like I was waiting for her.
Was she going at different angles? Got like a
I was waiting for her,
like a Shane Warne delivery.
She was on the driver's side right when I'm in the car. Right, I've indicated I'm waiting for her to park.
The temperature
Instead of her turning the opposite way, she decided to turn this way. So she had to go thinking, but you could have just gone the other way and gone around.
Free.
It was logical. There's nothing there. But she's chosen the most awkward way to try to get past. And I'm just...
I love it. Love it.
This is the Camry conspiracy.
All right. I tell you what, I forgot to tell you about a month and a bit ago, I transported a couch, a sofa couch from my sister-in-law's in Dandenong to my in-laws in Berwick.
Urban arms race.
Right. Anyway. And I thought, well, I've got to make sure I go easy because I had it tied down and I'll just go down the Princes Highway, straight out of Berwick.
Yep.
Camrys make very good pace cars when you have to haul stuff, because I just sat behind this Camry.
And he was doing 60 and an 80.
Yes. Yes. And I was like, perfect. I can't get in trouble here for traveling slow because I'm stuck behind a Camry. Everyone else has to go around. They'll see the Camry and not blame me.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's a Camry. No worries.
Fair enough, poor bloke.
That's why.
Forgot to tell you, but that just reminded me. So they make great pace cars. But
see, there's always some truth. It's not just me being it's
an
not
old
just
man
me exposing a whole lot of hatred for Camrys.
Grumpy old man
and said owners. It's actually out there. So please have a look out. Feel free to hit us up on our socials.
Yes, let us know.
If you can legally snap a photo, send it to us.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep an eye
on the tissue box.
Even if you're walking through the car park at the shopping centre.
Yeah.
And you see it, just even probably better. Just do it then.
And why a tissue box when they sell the little packs that fit in the glove box anyway?
I don't know.
Please explain to me this. Like it is literally for like 80 cents for those little.
It is. It's a little.
And you can buy a whole pack of them.
I've got it in the LDV, and it's at the front where you can reach them, but they're not going to cause any harm.
Box?
They're not going to be a flying projectile.
Yeah. Why a tissue box?
I don't know.
Why in the most furthest place in the car than anywhere else?
It depends. Are these Ubers? Are they there for the convenience?
Normal people
of passengers, maybe.
Again, even if it was for the convenience of passengers, you would still have the little ones in the.
Oh yeah. In
the compartment, in the side door.
That's true.
Okay. I mean, we can't blame them that much because they can't fit 3 liters.
That's right.
Of milk in the door pocket.
That's right. It's not a Rexton. It's not a Rexton.
But why did the man fall down the well, Philip? Why did the man fall down the well?
Why did the man fall down the well? I don't know. I feel like I should know the answer to this one. God damn it. Go.
Because he couldn't see that well.
God. That's the worst one yet. That's the worst one yet.
Don't say that. Is that
no, the worst one, meaning it is the best. That's what makes a good dad joke. Yeah. He couldn't see that well. Of course he fell down it. Good God. Do you have any more?
Updates. No, updates. So for the two dads, we made the prediction in a few shows ago.
Yep.
Putin, if winter is coming.
Yep.
He said it. I'm switching off the gas.
That's it.
He said it this morning.
Switching it off.
If you don't pay in rubles, I'm switching off the gas. And winter is coming.
Jeez.
We told you, like, I told you.
And the ruble made a bounce. It bounced back.
There you go. Because it has to.
You've got no choice. You've got to pay in rubles.
The sanctions.
Yeah, see?
He goes, for the people that are not friends of Russia, you're going to have to pay in rubles. Else he's switching off the gas. He's not accepting any other form
and they're massive.
Of currency.
No, he's made the call. He's passed it. I think there was also, I don't know whether it came into effect or not, but legislation that foreign companies who have shut down, like McDonald's, the actual buildings, he was going to, and as understood it, pass a law which
repurpose them.
Or repurpose them or repossess them because he owns them now. Yeah. So sorry, bad luck. You've just lost your Maccas. There you go. That's the thing with that's the thing when you're dealing with the Mad King. They come up with some mad ideas.
Yep, he's putting in the screws.
This thing's going to keep.
And in the week,
yes,
I have found for Mr. Miyagi's Chinese for cousin.
Oh, really?
I found him.
Mr. Miyagi's Chinese cousin.
It's Mr. Wu.
Oh, God. Mr. Wu was born in 88. Clearly. Born in 88.
I think it's the 8s because 8 is a lucky number.
I'm going to say 88. I'm going to say that it's 88. He was born
So
in 88.
Mr. Wu's in a Subaru.
Yes, he is.
Mr. Wu. I just looked across and I'm going to use that somehow.
Oh, my God.
Urban Arms Race update too.
Mr. Wu. Look at the Outback too.
After Mr. Miyagi's for Chinese cousin.
Yep, Mr. Wu. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Wu. Right before we hit the Urban Arm Race update, I'd just like to point out another complete atrocity that I saw on the roads.
What has someone done to a car? That's normally what your atrocity is. What is that on the side of the front? What is that?
This
What
is
are those carbon
offensive
fiber?
to small children. If there's any small children
What is that thing on the
on
door?
YouTube right now to watch this, please
Who's gone and just stuck that
have
on
something over their eyes, because this is
They're the
it
carbon
should be.
fiber air inlets that are found in an Audi R8 or something like that. Is that what that is? That's what it looks like. It's like it's ripped off one car and stuck it on the door of another. What is that?
Yeah,
Now,
but
people on Spotify, let me explain. What's the terminology for that?
it's a fake air vent.
Fake air vent. So, what a fake air vent is
Like what you'd normally find on some high performance.
yes, and normally they
on the
are
hood of a high performance car.
Either the hood or near the rear panels, because that's where the engine is, and it's an air intake in order to cool the engine down to increase. Yep. Am I right on this, by the way?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
you keep going.
So what we have here is that a Lexus? No, Mercedes. What is that?
Oh my god,
I can't tell.
It's
what
a Corolla, man.
Oh well, there you go. It's a Corolla, dude. I don't know cars. This is your car show. I'm just here for the ride.
It's not the Two Dads car show, but this is
it's
the segment
there.
as
it's getting slowly.
Seriously.
This is how it starts. This is how it starts, people. This is how it starts. Soon.
I think it may be a Honda Civic.
Episode
actually, I'm
50,
not 100%. Yeah, 50, it's a Honda Civic. Sorry. My apologies.
Episode 50 25. All about cars. You watch. We're halfway there. Slowly is converting us. So, sorry, people on Spotify. What it is, it's an air vent, and what they've done is they've stuck it
on the door.
On the door, at the bottom of the front, on the passenger door, at the front passenger door, to, I guess, to mimic some. I don't know what they're trying to achieve, to give it some sort of sporty look. But how do they got it? Is it stuck on? Is it stuck? Is it?
Yeah, it's just
like
double-sided tape.
Double-sided tape.
Right. Wherever they found it on eBay.
Wow.
Seriously, mate, what's wrong with you?
Do you reckon you should look good on the old eBay?
You should have your car impounded. As far as I'm concerned, that's unroadworthy because you're making people sick as you drive along. Horrible.
Can I just say, did you have to sit down and collect yourself when you saw that? Because clearly you were.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Was it an out loud?
There was.
What the? Was it one of those moments? Out loud.
There was a Camry. I had one drive past on the opposite side of the road. He straight piped it.
You what?
A new Camry.
What do you mean he straight? Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, that means exhaust with no mufflers.
Oh, right.
And I don't know what kind of universe was that even something that anyone should have done in the first place. But
all right. Why would you do that?
I had to stop and feel sick after.
Okay.
I had to stop at the side of the road and just have a
little rock.
Just have a moment. And another one of those aha moments. I just drove past this guy on the phone as his Range Rover was going on the back of a tow truck, and I just imagine him saying, "I don't know what's happened. This never happens."
Look at that.
His Range Rover going in the back of the tow truck.
A Range Rover.
Yeah.
What do you reckon happened?
It's a Range Rover, man.
It's a Range Rover. Are those air vents?
I'm sure it comes with a membership.
On those air vents on the front quarter panel?
Those are actually functional.
Oh, right.
That's how it's made. No, that's how it's made.
I thought I'd check.
That's how it's made. That's how it's made.
Where are we in? Is this the Rexton? We're in the Rexton in there? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, mate. Come on.
I'm just checking out. I'm sorry. I just saw the side pocket there at the front. It looks like there's a small child sitting in there.
Saying, please help me.
Oh, man.
Urban arms race, people. It's real.
How big is this thing?
It's happening.
Oh, goodness me. Look at that.
I think I must have expressed my hatred for anything made from Jeep. But
it's to the nines. Look at it.
Well, it's the only time that they actually look any good is when you've spent half the value on accessories.
Wow.
Otherwise, when they come straight from the showroom.
That sort of get-up that we're looking at right now, what price tag would you put on that get-up with all that paraphernalia?
Well, that's what I said. He's probably spent half the value of the car just to accessorize.
Well, I don't know what
it would be. How much it's worth all up.
Yeah. How much is it worth? Like we're talking 120,000, 130?
No. Let's not get crazy. It's
I don't know.
Really,
80
at best.
80 at best. 80,000. It doesn't look like it's been anywhere that would have dirt. So,
but this is the urban arms race.
This is the point. I get what you're saying.
This is the urban arms race.
This is the point. Says the man who I know has secretly bought that letter and just hiding it from his wife.
Oh,
waiting for the moment.
Really big news. Right? I'm up in my rack game. It has arrived.
Up in your rack? Are you going in for surgery? What's going on?
My rack game will be about to be upped.
Whoa. What are you going to be able to rack?
Everything, because it's a flat rack.
A flat rack.
So it'll be able to be fully festooned the same way as this guy's one is.
Festooned? Wow, I'm going to put that in the dictionary. I'm putting that in the Google. I want to know what festoon means because I've never heard
That's exactly what's happening here up the top. See all this
Hang
stuff?
On.
You don't need it. You're never going to use it.
Festooned. No, how would you spell that? How would you spell that?
Festooned. Festooned.
Double O? Festoon. Here we go.
Yeah, festooned.
It is a string or chain of flowers, ribbon, a decorative representation, a fabric in dentistry to adorn. I get what you're saying. So it's
That's
adorned
right.
With crap. Right.
Adorned with a whole lot of just accessorized to your heart's content.
Useless.
This one.
And you're just one of them that's just joining in on the game. What is that? Look at the clearance. How is that?
Patrol. If you can see the other side through your car, you know
wow.
you have probably gone steps that you shouldn't have gone.
Jeez.
Can still see the other side of wherever you parked. That's a bit high.
It's insane.
And there's this one as well, but I just the number plate was funny. So
what does it say?
So
hated.
So hated is the number plate.
Hated. Mate, they come up with some rippers, don't they?
So the reason why I've updated the urban arms race because our friend, the comedian.
Yes.
This is another because we've been speaking about the comedians, and so because they're all comedians.
That's right.
Has made an impassioned speech to the Parliament asking for the Bushmaster.
The Bushmaster. Oh, the Bushmaster. I was going to call them bushwhackers, but they were wrestlers.
The Bushmaster.
Look at that. Now that is the ultimate urban arms race. Look at that thing.
That's right.
Look at that thing.
That's what I'm talking about. Phil, 11.4 tons.
Wow.
7 meters long, 2.5 meters wide.
Jeez, that makes it.
And it's got a very small 7.2 liter.
Is that all? 7.2 liter twin
6-cylinder twin turbo diesel.
Look at that thing.
With 300 horsepower and nearly 2,000 Newton meters of torque.
Is that a certain
Bushmaster
manufacturer? Is that like that's not like a BMW?
Made in Bendigo.
Made in Bendigo. There you go.
Made in Bendigo. This is why I'm highlighting the Bushmaster.
Look
because
at the size of that thing.
It's round the corner. And only 500 grand.
Is that all?
Yeah, it's like 500 grand. So
I prefer that one of those compared to a Ferrari. I'll take one of those.
That's what I'm saying. Urban arms race. Here's our answer. Why don't they just make an unarmored?
Look at that
version of the Bushmaster. If they can
7
get
meters
it down.
7
it's a truck.
meters. You know what I'm saying? But 2 to something wide.
Imagine that on the school run.
Imagine that parking that at Fountain Gate.
It can wade in like
cars.
It can wade in like up to 2 meters.
What is that? Water. Easily
7 point. It's got a 319 liter fuel tank. So
wow,
when
you calculate today's prices, what would that be? $600, and the rest close to 700, wouldn't it?
$2.30 a liter.
Oh, it's come down. No, put the fuel excise.
$733 a fill.
There you go.
There's practical environmental motoring advice. This is our for Dad's car advice.
Does it come with? Does it come with Apple Play?
Yes, it does.
It does come with Apple Play. That's all right.
Apple CarPlay.
That's as long as I can get
enough seating for 8, I think.
There you go. You can do the school run.
So
easy.
Yeah, it's got side by side seats.
Imagine going away on holidays.
Anywhere you want. Doesn't matter. There's no road, kids. No worries.
We'll just make our own road.
and you can fit 4 in a Hercules.
There you go. It's got the front grill.
The comedian has asked us for Bushmasters.
We sending them? We should be sending them.
Yeah, we're sending them 4.
Oh, good.
And 500 grand is not out. Like, it doesn't seem outrageous, right?
No, but it would come. No, because it would come. All the technology that's in it's probably armor plated and all sorts.
It is armor plated. It will survive a bomb blast. So
yeah, that's the whole point of it.
If you're gonna hit a few roos wherever you live,
it happens. It happens.
You'll be driving along and you hear this.
What was that?
What was that?
Oh, what was that? It was just the wombat. Oh, righto. Mate, if that thing
Bushmaster, love the name.
Well, that it's an all-terrain vehicle.
It is an all-terrain vehicle.
Would it give the Mercedes G-Wagon a run for its money, you reckon?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
I urge you
to took it on the same...
put the Bushmaster into YouTube and watch the videos.
Oh,
That's
wow.
great.
What it can do.
It's great.
You'll be able... what it can't do. How big are those tyres? Those tyres look like 26 11
inches. Tons.
11
It's 11.4 tons, but that's because of all the armor plating. So my thing is that it's made in for Bendigo. They could just go, oh, hey, we'll just remove all the armor plating.
But what if they scaled it down?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Scale down the size, make it for urban.
If they get that down for 200 grand, people
who's
will buy
badged? It. Whose badge would it be though? Who badges it? I mean, the Bushmaster. It's not like
it's made by the company
Mercedes or
Thalys or something. They make obviously
you could have,
vehicles for the military.
The badge could be the emblem of Russell Coit. That's what you could put as the badge for being a Bushmaster, Russell Coit.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
Where we're going, we're seeing more cars festooned with off-road gear that no one ever uses, but it's just because we want.
I tell you what,
go and get a Bushmaster,
mate. If
they get that down to 200 grand,
that'll sell.
They remove armor plating,
and maybe make it and scale it down. Like, don't make it 7 meters.
And survive a bomb blast.
We'll make it a smaller version, not a 7-meter version, because that's just, it's like, I'm trying to think. It's like a Humvee? No, not a Humvee.
Yeah, that's how Hummers.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That's how Hummers started.
Kind of that, and the Rams, right? Rams are a big car. I love the Rams.
Yeah, but Rams just a normal ute, mate.
I understand it, but the size of it, like the Ram.
Can you imagine being at the lights right next to the Bushmaster?
Oh man, it'll make my car look like a GTI again. We'll just eclipse it.
It just says it all. I just love the name. It's just that would be the ultimate urban arms race.
You could adapt it to urban's arms. You could. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's made in Bendigo.
Just take the gun.
Yeah.
Just take the
obviously
gun
it
turret.
won't come armed.
Take the gun turret off and put a moon window or something in there, or a sunroof. That's the gun turret. Yeah. That's one thing. Yeah.
The Bushmaster.
It's even got an Aussie. It sounds Aussie, right? Oh, where did I park the Bushmaster?
Yeah, 7.2 liters of Caterpillar.
Oh, right.
Straight 6 full turbo goodness.
There you go.
300 horsepower.
Bushmaster. I have to YouTube that too right after.
Coming down the road. The next time I go to Bendigo, I'm going to find the place that's making it.
Tell you what.
And I'll get some
good to
photos.
though on the Monash peak hour traffic. That's for
I don't think you have to worry about that, mate.
You just go over the traffic.
Go anywhere you want. There's
Oh.
no limit to the Bushmaster. The only thing it won't pass is the service station.
No, that's true. That's true.
So, did you hear about the school that had the kidnapping?
The
It was on the
kidnapping?
news. Yeah.
As in,
at a school.
is that students who were snoozing? What kidnapping? Was I close?
Whoa!
I was so close.
Philip, you're nearly there, man.
I'm nearly
You
there because
got
the kid.
It's okay. You woke up.
Oh, he woke up. You knew I was trying to work it out.
You're
So there. I had my
nearly
dad,
did it, man.
I had my
Nearly
dad
did
joke
it.
hat on. That's what I had on. It's okay. He woke up. I said, "Oh, I was like, yeah." See, I knew there was a trick to that one. Kidnapping. I read.
Oh man, you nearly had that one.
I'm proud of myself on that one. Almost got you. Almost got you. What have we got? Because I think we've been going for about 4 hours, so we should really wrap it up.
I know. I just want to wrap things up with what I've seen
what's this?
on the rubbish bins in Malvern.
Hey, hello, ScoMo.
So the council in Malvern has put these on their rubbish bins.
Is that from his time in Hawaii? No? It is? It is, right? I was going to say.
So
to brighten the place
clearly
up.
The local council in Malvern are not big fans of Scotty for marketing. And it has on the bottom, it says, "Not my job." It's got aimless, blameless, and completely shameless.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, that electorate is certainly definitely not liberal, that's for sure.
No.
Well, I think we're about a couple months. I think month after next. I mean, we're in April now.
May, they're talking about. May.
Yeah, so
21.
So as soon as I start kissing babies, mate, you know that it's on. So look out. What is it normally? 4-week campaign? 4-week campaign trial? 4 to 5 weeks?
I don't know why any of the parties didn't think, let's get Craig Foster, but I think it's because he'd be just way too honest.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, please remind everyone of our socials, Phil.
Our socials. So if we've got Gmail, which everyone has a Gmail. And
There's no chance this one was under an hour.
No chance. This is almost a 2-hour epic, man. This is like the Titanic all over again.
We've almost gone for What's About China again.
We've had good discussion. We've had good discussion. Our Gmail account is the two dads. That's TOODADS.podcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on YouTube, which is Two Dads Podcast, as well as Spotify. And if you so wish, you can also find us on Anchor. It's as simple as that. But if you do follow us on Spotify, come and check out, or just have YouTube playing in the background. You can see the faces we have for YouTube as well as the voices we have for Spotify. And hey, maybe one day, even radio. You never know what can happen. The beauty of social media and a social platform. But that's where you can reach us. And if you come across,
can you imagine if we ever had a radio show?
Imagine that. Could you imagine that? Tell you what, we get a lot of angry callers about Camrys and tissue boxes. That's for sure.
Well, I would love anyone that's out there.
Explain.
You have a Camry.
Yeah, tell us why.
Yeah, please.
We're not saying don't do it. We just want to understand why. We want to understand, because Sadiq and I are very logical. Our thought is, if I'm driving, I need a tissue. There's no chance I'm going to be able to reach unless I speed up to 100, brake, and have this thing come flying.
There's a tissue. But
to the front.
Why?
The only chance I got.
I see it the same way as I see people.
I've started him.
Biting their nails, right? Why would you bite your nails when there's an elegant device that exists?
It does a good job. It does the right job.
It does exactly what you're trying to do with your teeth. But there's a device that's long-standing and very easy to get.
Yeah, I know.
So if you need a tissue, why should you have to stop on the side of the freeway and go to the back
To the
seat
back,
of your car to get a tissue and the box to blow
We
your
want to
nose.
understand. We want to understand this. But now, trust me, we're going to see a Camry. We're going to look for tissue box. That's how I know I am.
The back shelves of Camry.
Thank you for today.
I thought maybe it's some sort of sorry, now I'm going to go off on a rant.
Here we go.
It's a Freemasons thing or some some kind of secret
we've got to
society.
cut him off. We've got to cut him off before he gets us shut down on bloody YouTube. Thanks for joining us on episode 25.
Thank you, everyone.
It's been a good discussion.
Thanks for being patient.
Thanks for being patient. Thanks if you've reached this far. Well, hey, you deserve it. Damn medal, that's for sure. But thank you for listening in. Until next week. Well, hopefully we get it in under an hour. You never know. We have to invite a guest so that Zoom forces us to do it in under an hour.
I know. It's the only impetus that allows us to get under an hour because we see the timer.
We want to have people just emailing us asking to be guests on the show. Anyhow, I think we're done. For this week. Sadiq, thank you for a good topic. Thanks for the good discussion.
And finally, we had some sort of opposing opinions, which is good.
We did. Yeah. No, that's what this is all about. So there you go, Steve. Hope you enjoyed.
It's not for Jerry Springer, but
no.
At least we have a little bit of opposite opinion.
Exactly.
Okay? So Steve, you can shut up now.
Until next week. Adieu.
Say hi to your mum for us.
Ciao.